This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
We are not done with the rain yet. More rain and thunderstorms are expected into Friday.
Kevin Gregory is here to get you ready for the weekend, which looks quite nice, Kevin.
Let's go find some downpours. Then we'll talk about those changes late tomorrow that will last a while. That's the good news. Temperatures 81 in Muncie, 78 in Indianapolis. The rain not too far to the west of Indianapolis. Now, all of this is moving to the north and east, and not that quickly, but at least they're on the move, which is good news because of the fact that they do produce some brief heavy rain. Got an area just southwest of Marion County and the airport, another just west of Martinsville, south of Danville. All of this racing to the north and east. We could see some 30-mile-per-hour gusts in the heavier downpours, not expecting severe storms, and the broader view so you can see where the rain is in relation to where you live. One other pop up there just around Franklin in Johnson County, and they're near Frankfort in Clinton County. Temperatures definitely cooler because of the rain. You see the bullseye of green from Greencastle to Crawfordsville. Otherwise, temperatures still upper 70s to around 80 degrees. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, rain in northwest Indiana. That will drop to the southeast through the morning ahead of a cold front. That is the front that will bring the big change to our weather. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a line of thunderstorms south and east of Indy. We'll talk about the changes then that arrive and stick around for the weekend into early next week coming up.
See you soon, Kevin. Thank you. Now to a developing story tonight. Two drivers, a man and his daughter, face charges in a weekend collision that killed 3 teenage pedestrians. Prosecutors say Alcadema Link and Shantaniana Wills each face 3 counts of reckless homicide and causing death when operating a vehicle while intoxicated. Link is also accused of leaving the scene of an accident. The collision early Saturday near 38th and Kessler killed 14-year-old David Evans, 13-year-old Tajiana Velez, and 15-year-old Kiara Brown. Witnesses say 2 vehicles were speeding just before the crash. Investigators believe Link's vehicle was traveling about 73 miles per hour, and Will's vehicle was going about 91 miles per hour.
And tonight, an investigation into a possible hate crime is underway after someone fired shots at a mosque on the city's northwest side. The mosque typically would have been packed with families this past Sunday, the end of the holy month of Ramadan. Leaders of the mosque on Lafayette Road say that's what makes the situation so frightening. Just after sundown, only a handful of the mosque's members were there for prayers because of COVID-19 restrictions when they say someone opened fire. As the members took cover, no one was injured, but now they are calling on police to investigate the shooting as a hate crime.
When we stepped outside, we thought that, my car was struck, the back windshield was struck, and the glass door was struck, and one bullet came through the wall.
The mosque says it has surveillance footage showing a suspicious car outside just before the members heard the gunshots.
Now to our continuing coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on Indiana. More than 1,900 Hoosiers have now died from coronavirus. The state health department says that more than 33,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. More than 242,000 people have been tested in Indiana, with 13.6% testing positive. Rent is due in just a few days for families and small businesses, and with hundreds of thousands of Hoosiers out of work, Governor Holcomb has extended the state's moratorium on evictions until June 30th. But after that, it's unclear what might happen if you still owe rent money. Cornelius Hawker takes a look at 2 businesses and what they're facing and what lawmakers might be able to do to help.
2 Muncie businesses, both trying to make ends meet during the pandemic.
I need to find out how am I going to make my rent.
When we get there, we're going to get there.
Queer Chocolatier's landlord was firm on rent. It was due despite the chocolate shop being closed. Morgan Roddy is the owner.
My landlord was not open and accommodating in any way whatsoever.
But Mark III Tap Room was given a break to try and figure things out. Natasha Martz is their owner.
I feel very lucky. We are blessed to be in the spot that we are in.
Both businesses have received support from the community, but this situation has some people asking whether mayors or city councils could enact rent freezes for tenants. The answer is no. The law now in Indiana prevents local governments from regulating rent on any private property. That must be done by the state's General Assembly.
We have laws on the books that preempts local folks from making decisions.
Senator J.D. Ford says this pandemic has shown he and his colleagues need to address this issue in next year's legislative session.
We need to be doing everything we can to keep small businesses in their space.
With Republicans holding the majority in both chambers, any legislation Senator Ford puts forth will need bipartisan support.
Those friends on the other side of the aisle, they say that they're for small businesses, right? And so this is an opportunity for us to really come together to really show them that we are for small businesses. People are nervous and scared, not only about small businesses trying to stay in their space, but also private, regular citizens just trying to, stay in their apartment or stay in their home.
We need to have tenant rights more strongly supported and a rental registry to know who is our absentee landlord.
Morgan knows not much can get done until the next legislative session, but that isn't stopping her from pushing for changes now to help out renters.
There needs to be some way of leveling the field, and if I can even take some moment of this process to really take advantage of that, that's part of what I'm going to try and do.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
We reached out to state lawmakers from both parties over the last 2 weeks, but Senator Ford was the only lawmaker who agreed to an interview. If you're worried about paying rent or your mortgage after the financial impact of the pandemic, there are ways to get help. HelloLender.org and HelloLandlord.org can help you write letters to your landlord. You can find out more resources right now at theindychannel.com/rebound.
Even with some businesses around Indiana reopening last week, the number of Hoosiers filing for unemployment continues to rise. The Department of Labor says more than 26,000 people filed first-time claims for unemployment benefits last week. That's down from the previous week, but it's more than 10 times the number of weekly claims the state typically processed before the COVID-19 stay-at-home orders went into effect. In the 10 weeks since businesses began laying off workers, more than 704,000 Hoosiers have now filed for unemployment. That's almost 22% of Indiana's labor force. And tens of thousands of Hoosiers are voting by mail this time around because of coronavirus. Let's take a look at the impact in Johnson County. In 2016, the clerk's office in Franklin mailed out 1,028 ballots. The number this year is 10 times larger. The clerk has mailed out more than 11,480 ballots for the June 2nd primary.
Once we receive those ballots here every day, we have a system processing them into our statewide voter system. And then after we've processed all of those ballots into our voter system, we run a report, and then our bipartisan team balances the report with the ballots daily.
Some people are choosing to vote early but in person. The clerk says that in-person voting includes the cleaning of voting machines after each person has cast their ballot. The county received PPE from the state. And here's the big picture. The Secretary of State's office tells RTV6 that as of today, 546,332 Hoosiers had requested to vote by mail. Compare that number to the last presidential year of 2016, and there was no pandemic. 53,818 Hoosiers voted absentee.
It is decision day for the Johnson County Fair, one of the biggest in central Indiana, by the way. We have seen a number of counties cancel their summer events. COVID-19 also impacted the sale of 4-H show animals because of the unknown. More now from RTV6's Rafael Sanchez.
Nosy by nature, pigs are curious, and they're probably wondering why they're not working with kids. So a year ago today, if I came to visit you, you'd have nothing in those barns.
We would be empty except what we are going to keep for our show schedule. Everybody's a little nervous, so sales of your animals hasn't been as good as it has in the past years.
This is the Ankeny Farm in Trafalgar. Andrew had budgeted and invested in 6 pigs, but COVID-19 impacted the sales of show animals with 4-H fairs up in the air. His daughter has won her fair share of ribbons, as you can see, and she has not given up on her project.
I'm still doing it the usual way I'm doing it, just playing it by ear. Hopefully nothing major gets canceled. To me, it's more about the fun and the memories being made. It's not all about just focusing on the banners and winning everything.
So no matter if we have the county fair or not, projects are still completed. You're still graded on it, if you will. and we still learn what we can learn from it.
Pigs initially meant for competitions are now facing a menu of limited choices. Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
5 of the 6 pigs were sold to be butchered. The Johnson County Fair Board is voting right now on one of the 5 possible options for their event in mid-July. Johnson County could see a full fair, a limited fair with a few rides and vendors, or an online fair for just the 4-H participants, and an in-person fair for just the 4-H kids, or no fair at all. We have the results of the vote when it comes down.
With many students on summer break, some parents may be looking to keep their kids learning because of the interruption in the spring. Coming up, what you can do to keep your kids on track.
Channel.com/rebound. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Summer break is already underway for thousands of Hoosier students, but some parents are concerned their child might be behind in school because of COVID-19. Our Kelsey Anderson explains what school officials say you can do to help your child.
Well, just because school's out doesn't mean learning has to stop. And for us as adults, we don't see these small summer activities as learning experiences, but that's exactly what they are for young kids. Alyssa Lockwood is the principal at Mount Comfort Elementary School. She says summer enrichment is an important part of a child's growth and learning. Playing outside, building something, having a water balloon fight, and so much more are all things kids can do to continue to learn, just in a different way than we imagine at school.
For summer learning is always to keep reading as well. I think, keeping in a good routine. I know I have 3 elementary age kids, and my kids are in a routine of reading every night. And so now that we're in the summer, they get to choose what books they read every night. And so that's important for them to have choice and ownership in that.
Lockwood says kids at Mount Vernon schools got to keep their Chromebooks over the summer so they can still utilize the learning programs they're already used to. A lot of local libraries are doing virtual and in-person reading programs this summer where kids can earn rewards for every single book they read. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
And we're tracking downpours. One of those sits at I-70 and 465 on the southwest side, another over Danville. I'll broaden the view and I'll show you when it's not raining in the 7-day planner.
Pizza, brownies, and more.
A popular accessory could wind up playing a big role in coronavirus research. Several tests are underway to see if data from smartwatches and fitness trackers can predict and track the virus. In fact, Fitbit and Stanford Health are both looking for volunteers who have had the virus or have been exposed to it, like essential workers. The theory is that changes in heart rate could signal someone has the virus before symptoms even start. Researchers think this tech could also be used to track the flu or other viral infections.
And as districts struggle with what school will look like in the fall, they might be dealing with fewer teachers. 1 in 5 teachers who responded to a USA Today poll said they are unlikely to return to the classroom if their schools reopen. Some are concerned about returning without a vaccine. Others worry about how they'll be able to teach effectively with social distancing measures in place. 83% of teachers also said their jobs are harder right now, and 76% said distance learning is causing some students to fall behind.
Walmart is taking a leap into the upcycling world. It's partnering with online consignment and thrift shop ThreadUp to put their inventory on Walmart.com. More than 750,000 pre-loved clothing and accessory items are available. And right now, it's just women and children's items. And if you want to sell some of your cast-offs, you still have to go through ThreadUp's site. Walmart hopes the move will help them tap into younger buyers.
When it rains, it pours. I'll show you on radar here in a second, but it won't be raining Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. That is something to look forward to. The rain is likely through the early portion of tomorrow, through at least early afternoon, a little longer south and east of Indy. Let's highlight the weekend. Temperatures in the low 70s Saturday and Sunday, below average both days, and still below average Monday and Tuesday of next week. Low temperatures as cool as 49. You can open the windows, let some of that low humidity and fresh air into your house. We've got the humidity around now for sure. There's the area of rain from Monticello down to Frankfort and then into Hendricks County and even hiding in Marion County. Nice little downpour. Decent amount of rain, over 5 inches this month in Frankfort, and you can see the rain rolling to the north and east across 421. Monticello, Lake Schaefer, Lake Freeman with a heavy downpour. Let's bring it to Marion County, just south of Speedway along 465, heavy rain. That'll be followed immediately by the next round that's moving from Mooresville toward Plainfield and will cut along the Hendricks-Marion County line. Strongest area of thunderstorms, kind of 3 cells almost coming together there in Greene County. I do expect that to produce some 40-mile-per-hour gusts and heavy rainfall. It will move northeast towards Spencer along 231. Will likely weaken as it does. 75 in Lafayette and Terre Haute. Temperatures warmest in the eastern portion of the state where you've not had the rain, recently at least. The morning hours tomorrow. Rain chances sky high through early afternoon. How this will play out in the morning northwest of Indianapolis and the northwest portion of the state. A cold front generating some morning rain. Lafayette, Monticello, Logansport, Peru. That will quickly drop south and east. So by 1 o'clock, a line of showers and isolated thunderstorms should move through Indy and then impact the eastern portion of the state. And we'll see a rapid decrease in rainfall chances in Indianapolis. Okay, that's the Speedway view looking to downtown, and if you look closely you can see some of the larger raindrops there as the heavy rain settles over the Speedway. Here's your 7-day planner. Temperatures, they cool off and they stay cool Sunday through Tuesday. We're back to the heat and humidity with a chance for thunderstorms again once we get to Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be back with more news at 7 right after this.
A pussycat on price.
This week, hundreds of kids and their families would have gathered near Washington, D.C. for the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Like many events that had to be canceled. But as Maya Rodriguez explains, 2 former contestants are holding their own event.
B-E-E, that is correct.
It's a spelling bee generating a lot of buzz in the world of spellers.
It's a family effort. Both of us are working on it. Our parents are also helping out.
Spelling bees have been a part of siblings Shoba and Sharav Dasari's lives since elementary school. Both competed at the Scripps National Spelling Bee in years past.
The fact that that was canceled was really disappointing to not just spellers, but also people like us who are really involved with the bee.
They run an online spelling website and app called Spell Pundit. When the National Bee was canceled, they decided to try and fill the void.
We saw an opportunity to kind of host an online bee to not really replace the National Spelling Bee, but kind of serve as an alternative for those students who wouldn't be able to participate in it this year.
Can I have the definition, please?
It all takes place in view of judges and proctors online, from the written tests to the spelling of words out loud.
R-H-I-N-E, typewriter.
We'll be able to basically watch them, make sure that they're not referencing any external materials or anything like that.
More than 300 students signed up, a number that will eventually be narrowed down to 4 groups of 4 spellers.
If you're one of the 4 spellers in each of those groups, then you go into the finals. And then in the finals, it's just spell down until there's one winner.
There are sponsors and cash prizes involved, including several $1,000s for the final winner. It's a lot of work for this brother and sister, but they say it's something they wanted to do.
The one thing that I always say is that the spelling bee community has kind of raised us in a way, and so this is our way of giving back to that.
Giving back in an effort to make sure others don't miss.
O-U-T.
I'm Maya Rodriguez reporting.
Heaviest rain in Greene County, right near Bloomfield. It's moving northeast, so it'll go along 231 between Bloomfield and Spencer. Also downtown Indianapolis, at least on the west side, heavier downpours. These will continue this evening. Mark, Amanda?
Well, thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. Our next newscast is tonight at 11. Mark, Kevin, and I will see you then.